Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today I'm going to be sharing with you 20 lessons that I have learned from the Minimalists. If you are unaware of who the Minimalists are, it is two guys, Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, and together they are the Minimalists. If you listen to their podcast, you are probably cringing at my impression. They started this blog called The Minimalists 6 years ago, and they have a podcast that I believe has been going on for a couple of years. I jumped on listening to their podcast towards the end of 2016 when I started my minimalist journey, and I just really like their perspective. I love that they don't agree on everything, but they share similar values. So anyway, this is a video that is part of my Video Every Day in August challenge that I have challenged myself to do. I've been wanting to film this for a while, and I figured what better time than when I'm trying to post as many videos as possible. Okay, the first lesson is kind of a joke, and that is the word appreciably. So they talk about their podcast sometimes in a comedic way, and they say add value a lot. So they kind of have this running joke or whatever about this add value drinking game. Every time they say add value or added value, does it add value, take a shot or get rid of something. But to me, my personal drinking game is every time Joshua says appreciably. It's like his favorite word. I don't know if he realizes that he says it in almost every single episode, but he does. Every time he says it, I giggle a little bit to myself, and I just wanted to throw that in here. Lesson number 2, this is their sign off for every single podcast episode, and that is love people and use things because the opposite never works. And every single time Joshua says it, I actually say it with him at the end of every single episode. I have tried to stop saying that I love certain things because of this lesson that I've learned. Typically I would say, oh my god, I love that lipstick, it's so pretty, like the lipstick I'm wearing, I love it, or I love your highlight. But no, you don't really love it. Like, think about the word love. Like, I love my husband, I love my dog, I love my best friend Rachel, but the love for them is not the same as the love for my lipstick. Lesson number 2, there is no such thing as good debt. This was a mind-blowing lesson for me because I grew up always hearing, oh, debt is a tool, and you should have debt because it'll give you a credit score, and that's what you need to survive. And when I heard them talk about debt and finances they have 3 episodes that talk about money. I think it's money, finances, and debt. They're the ones who recommended Total Money Makeover, and my husband and I both read it, and now we're like doing the Total Money Makeover, and I love that they said that. This lesson is so important. It's not something that everyone is going to agree with, and that's totally fine. I didn't agree with it at first, but now I do because I've done some research. Lesson number 4. This is a little bit of a brain twister. You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. This is usually their stock answer whenever anyone asks about dealing with people who are not minimalists. It's also for when people are trying to deal with others who don't share the same values. A relationship sometimes has to end. Like, if it's not adding value to your life anymore, like if a relationship is dragging you down, you know, you can't change that person, but you can change that person in that you don't necessarily have to spend as much time with them anymore. Lesson number 5. Show me how you spend your time and I'll show you your priorities. So you might say, well, my priority is my health. But if you spend all of your time sitting around watching TV and ordering pizza, your health isn't really a priority. The things that you spend your time on, those are your priorities. So if you list what you spent your time on today and none of those match up with the list of priorities you created, something has to change. Either your priorities aren't really valuable to you, or you need to change how you spend your time. Lesson number 6, just in case, are the 3 most dangerous words in the human language. Although to me, the most dangerous words when minimizing, that's kind of, I don't think they're the most dangerous words in the human language, but that's usually what they say. So this is for things that you are thinking about getting rid of, but you keep them just in case. Their alternative to just in case is just for when. So you have to differentiate between just in case and just for when. So if you're like, well, I have to keep this hammer just in case, it's like, no, you have to keep it just for when you are putting a nail in the wall because you're hanging up a picture, or you know, that kind of thing. They actually have a rule for just in case items. It is the 20-20 rule. So when decluttering just in case items, a just in case item is something that you can get for less than $20 within less than 20 minutes. So they always talk about how between the two of them, they've only had to use the just in case rule like 5 times or something like that over the course of like 6 years. So they always call it a very cheap insurance policy. So it really allows you to free up so many things that you're keeping just in case. Lesson number 7, our memories are not in our things. Yes, your things can sometimes trigger memories. So this has to do with those sentimental items that are typically the hardest to get rid of. So their tip for getting rid of sentimental items is, if it's really triggering a memory in you that you just really don't want to forget, but you don't want to hang on to this thing, it's keeping up space, take a picture of it. Also, something that I'm going to do on my vlogging channel, The Vapid Vlogger, is I'm actually going to film myself going through all my sentimental items and film like my initial reactions after seeing these things after a really long time. And I feel like once I do that and I have footage and maybe close-ups of these things, I will feel a little bit better about letting go of more of my sentimental items. I have a huge trunk full of sentimental items, and I just feel like, I mean, come on. Like, what if I died tomorrow and my poor husband had to go through all of my sentimental items? Oh God, do I have wood to knock on? Lesson number 8, does this thing add value? So this is kind of their version of does this thing spark joy, which is a KonMari method question. So instead of sparking joy, does it add value? You can hold a hammer and be like, well, this doesn't spark joy, I'm gonna get rid of it, but it adds value. Personally, a hammer adds value to my life. It is a just for when item, especially because I just put together a book case. I needed the hammer. I just put up some pictures. I needed the hammer. You can also ask that question for things that are not physical items when you're decluttering. You can ask that question when you're evaluating your relationships. Lesson number 9, gift experiences, not things. Like museum tickets or concert tickets, Disneyland tickets, like these experiences that are going to make memories rather than getting this little trinket. Lesson 10, discomfort is where we grow. Unpleasant is simply unnecessary. So they have a whole episode titled Unpleasant, and they were talking about the difference between discomfort and just feeling unpleasant. Discomfort is like when you're challenging yourself. Like, let's say I'm gonna go a month without Wi-Fi. That might be uncomfortable, but when it gets to the point where it's just unpleasant and you're not really growing anymore, it's not necessary anymore. Lesson 11, minimalism is for everyone, not just rich white guys. They responded to a criticism of minimalism saying that minimalism is only for the wealthy. And I highly recommend you guys look into their response on that, because it's just so brilliant. And it's, I don't know, it's, why would someone say that minimalism is only for wealthy people? I feel like minimalism helps me spend so much less money and live more within my means. Lesson 12, don't add to the noise. For me, this is a lesson that I think about whenever I'm on social media. It's actually helped me limit how much I let myself rant on social media. Around January 20th, from like January 20th to March, something, the end of March, I was doing a lot of ranting on Twitter, and I feel like I was just adding to the noise. I wasn't really adding value to anyone's life by just yelling as hard as I could on Twitter. And I've kind of taken a step back, because I'm like, there are enough people yelling and ranting on Twitter that no one is really listening anymore. It's also why I'm not really on Snapchat as much as I used to be. I think I just used to get on Snapchat if I felt like looking pretty or something, and then I would have like these 10-minute long Snapchat stories that were completely a waste of time for me to be filming and for everyone else to be watching. Lesson number 13, the best response to criticism is silence. They have a whole episode on criticism where they just read all of these like mean comments about their documentary, and for every single mean comment they literally just played crickets. Because they talk about how trolls, like internet trolls, are like seagulls. They fly in, they poop on everything, and they fly away so they don't have to see the aftermath. So they don't have to see how their comments have affected you. So it's helped me because I don't really get a lot of hate comments on my YouTube channel. I mean, I have in the past, and I always felt the need to respond. And now I'm just like, why give them that benefit? Like, if I ever get a hate comment, there's a difference between hate comments and constructive criticism, but if I ever got just a comment that was purely to be hateful and cruel, I'm not going to give that person the benefit of a response. Lesson 14, there's nothing inherently wrong with consumerism. The problem is compulsory consumerism. Like on Black Friday, just going out shopping and buying all these things you don't really need just because it's Black Friday and there are all these deals. I'm gonna save so much money by spending money. That's a joke from Cougar Town that I say all the time. There's nothing wrong with consumerism. There's nothing wrong with this thing broke, I need to replace it. Lesson 15, don't waste time on useless rumination. Like when something bad happens, or if you're worried that something bad is going to happen, just sitting there like pondering it for hours is a complete waste of time. Once you've done everything in your power to try and fix the situation, then there's no point in thinking about it anymore. You have to focus on the solution, not just, oh, woe is me, this thing happened, oh my gosh. Number 16, you can have multiple passions throughout your lifetime and multiple careers. And honestly, if you have a passion, you really just need to focus on one at a time. For me, I'm still struggling with this because I like want to focus on them all. You can't confuse passion with excitement, because if you're really passionate about something, you're going to continue to work on that thing even when it gets hard, even when it gets boring. The minimalists always say you have to drudge through the drudgery. Number 17, don't force others into minimalism. Show them the benefits. Live by example. Focus on the why and not the how. So whenever anyone asks, how do I get my family to become minimalists, or how do I convert people to minimalism, they're like, no, don't be one of those people trying to convert someone to minimalism. People will typically come to you because they'll say, oh my God, you look so much happier. What are you doing? You seem so much less stressed. And you go, well, I've been really minimizing my life. I've been getting rid of the excess and trying to live more intentionally, and that's showing them the benefits. And when it comes to your family, let's say you're a parent and you have kids who are like, well, why can't I get all the toys I used to get? You go, look, don't you want to go to Disneyland? Like, let's have this amazing experience together rather than me getting you a bunch of little toys. Like, that's a good reason for them to embrace what you're doing, because you're like, well, I'm gonna save money by not getting you all these things that you're gonna get bored of after a week, but instead save this money and I'm gonna take you to Disneyland. We're gonna have this amazing experience, you know? Or if I am able to save more money, I'm able to not work as much and I can spend more time with you. So those are just really valuable reasons. You're showing them the why rather than, we're gonna get rid of everything and I'm not gonna buy you anything. Like, that just makes everyone freak out. Number 18, lesson number 18 is the needs, wants, likes list. And this is a tool for getting out of debt, saving money, like dealing with your finances. You list everything that you need to survive. Like, you need shelter, you need water, you need food. Your wants are things that add value to your life. Like, let's say your Spotify premium. It's something that adds a lot of value to my life, but it's a want. I don't need it to survive. And then likes are, I would really like to be able to get my nails done, but you know, I don't, you know, it's something I can get rid of pretty easily. Like a monthly manicure, I could get rid of that pretty easily. So anyway, you start by getting rid of all of your likes, then you get rid of all of your wants, and then you even downsize some of your needs. So maybe you don't have to live in a 5-bedroom house, you can downsize. If you're trying to quit your job, it's a way to live off of a smaller income, and then, you know, you can slowly add back in some of your wants. So like right now I'm kind of doing this. I got rid of my Spotify Premium and I miss it so much, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm saving 10 bucks a month. It's not a lot, but like it'll add up. Once I get a job, once I pay off some more of my debt, I can add back in my Spotify Premium membership. All right, don't worry you guys, there are only 2 more lessons left. I know this is a long video. The acronym TERRA, for when you live with maximalists. So this is it's an acronym for not only when you're living with maximalists, but when you're living with, or when you're having to deal with people who maybe you don't share the same opinions, maybe you don't even share the same values. So T stands for tolerance. This is like the most shallow of steps when it comes to dealing with people, is you just tolerate them. Like if I only tolerated my husband, that'd be pretty bad. So the next step down, the first A, is acceptance. You know, you've accepted it. You're like, this is how it is. Maybe you don't necessarily see the reasons behind what they're doing or what they believe, but you're just like, all right, this is life. The next letter down, R, is respect. So this is where, you know what, you see what they're doing. Maybe you don't agree with it, but you see their reasons behind it and you respect them for it. And then the final and deepest step is appreciating them. So it goes beyond respecting. Hopefully you can go through this step-by-step process to the point where if you live with someone who is a maximalist and you are a minimalist, you can get to the point where you appreciate them and you can cohabitate in harmony. And the last lesson is the best plan is the plan that works for you. Not every rule is going to work for everyone. Not every method of decluttering is going to work for everyone. So there is no best method out there. The best method is the one that you're going to do, the one that you're going to stick with. So if the KonMari method is the best method and that's the one that's been working for you, then that's the best method for you. If the packing party is the best method for you, then there you go, the packing party, or the 30-day minimalism game. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. There are so many things that I have learned from listening to the Minimalists. They have literally changed my life. If you are a minimalist who hasn't started listening to their podcast yet or hasn't checked out their blog, I highly recommend it. They just have a recipe that works really well for me. It might not work for you, but hey, you might as well check it out. Check out their documentary. It's available on Netflix all over the world, by the way. It's just a great place to start, and they don't know I'm doing this. This is really coming from a genuine place of appreciation of what they've done and the work that they put in to everything they do. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments which was your favorite lesson, like which is the lesson that resonates the most with you. Subscribe to my channel for more minimalism related videos. And this is the first time I'm gonna say this, but hey, hit that notification bell and so you always know when I'm posting a video. And I feel so awkward saying that, but that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!